welcome to my channel. My name is Esther. I make videos from Abuja, Nigeria. In today's video, I'll be telling you all about the essential equipment that you're going to be needing when you want to start a bread bakery, especially here in Nigeria. So in no particular order, I'm going to try to do my best by giving you all the details that you will need, especially those newcomers that want to join me in this business. You know, it's a lucrative business despite the economic challenges in the country. So I'll also advise you to do your research, go online. These informations I'm going to give you today, they are online. So just go online, make your research, you'll get so many informations there. So let's start with the list of these essential equipment. Number one on the list is called the mixer. The mixer, and I'm also going to show you a picture of that mixer so you see exactly how a mixer looks like. This the life of the bakery, because without this very important machine, no bakery can function, and it is used mostly, what a mixer is actually used for is used to mix your flour and your recipes together. When these two comes together with your water, it gives you your bread dough. So I promise I will leave it, you're going to see a picture of it so you see exactly how a typical mixer looks like. Number two on the list is the dough cutter. This equipment is used to cut the dough that comes out of the mixer. You put it into a cutter, so it cuts it into different sizes, depending on your taste, depending on how you want the size of your bread to look like. So it's this particular cutter that gives you those shapes. Although you can actually cut with your hands, there are so many bakeries that cannot afford cutter. They cut with their hands. Initially, when I first started, before I was able to get myself a cutter, I was actually cutting with my hands. So before God blessed us and I was able to buy myself a cutter. So it now makes the job very easy. So all those bread you see on the shelves, different shapes, different sizes that you see on the shelf, it is the cutter that does the job, or you use your hand manually. So next on the list is the work table. It's a table made of stainless steel or an iron table with a stainless steel top, used as a workstation for placing your mixed dough. When you're not allowed to put your dough on a wooden table. Is NAFDAC, for sanitary purposes, and also as specified by NAFDAC, you need a stainless steel table or a metal table but a stainless steel top. That's what you're going to need to put your dough on. Number 4 on the list is the dough molder. You can actually mold with your hands, but just to make your work very faster, just like the cutter, I'll always advise bakeries, if you can afford it, buy yourself a dough molder. I'm going to also put the picture of a dough molder so you see exactly how a dough molder looks like. It works faster, it makes it easier for your staffs, so you don't end up working for too many hours. Then it is also used for stretching and molding the dough into folds before it goes into your pan. Now, this particular molder, that doesn't mean you can't mold with your hands. You can actually mold with your hands, just like what I've always said. It makes your work faster. So if you cannot afford it, my guy, mold with your hand. You will still be fast, So number 5 on the list is the bread pans. These are metal pans. Some are made of stainless steels or metal pans where you put your dough. Before it goes into the oven, you need the pan to put this dough into, and it comes in different sizes. It depends on the kind of bread that you want to be making. If you want to be making the family loaf, you tell the person that makes the pan for you the kind of size you want, So even before your bread poofs, you need to put that bread into a pan and keep aside, or you put into the poofer for it to proof, or that's what we call for it to rise. In Nigeria we say for it to rise. It's proofing, before it goes into the oven. So you need the pan for this purpose. Number 6 is the proofer. This machine is needed to speed up and hasten the proofing process. You can do without it as well. I personally don't have a proofer in my bakery. So what I simply do, I just put my dough into a warm room and then close the windows, and before you know, although it takes hours, it takes like up to like 2, sometimes even 3 hours for my bread to get to the level I want it to get to before it goes into the oven. But if I had a proofer, or if you have a proofer, it makes it very easier. Highest, within 30 minutes, your bread should be ready to go into the oven, or at most 1 hour, it will be ready to go into the oven. I'll also show you picture. You're going to also see a picture of a proofer. Then another important equipment is a deep freezer or a chilling machine, which you need during production process in order to have a smooth loaf with little or no breadcrumbs. This chilling machine is just like a proofer. It looks exactly like a proofer, but it is made just to chill water for you to use when you're producing. You don't bake bread with just ordinary water or warm water. You won't like the look of your bread, or you won't like how your bread is going to turn out. So it's always advisable to buy a chiller. If you cannot afford a chiller, you can buy a deep freezer where you'll be storing in water, even ice, really ice chilled water, to make your bread. That way you end up with smooth bread. Then the next on our list is called the oven. I usually, me personally, I call this the ogak pata of all the equipment, except for the mixer. A mixer is also another very important equipment. But you see the oven, very important. You cannot bake any food without an oven. You just need an oven. There's no two ways about it. It's not something you can have an alternative for, and it comes in different sizes, different shapes. There's a deck oven, there's the rotary oven, depending on what you want. So next is what we call the wire racks. This is a shelf, is like a shelf made from metals used to put hot baked breads on. When your bread comes out of the oven, you can't put it on wooden table or a wooden shelf, because when it comes out of the oven, it's still very hot and it brings out steam. You need that steam to have an escape route where it can go out, because if those steam don't go out and they are trapped within the bread, you end up with really soaked and soggy bread. And trust me, you don't want a very soaked and soggy bread. Your bread won't even last on the shelf if you don't put it on a wire rack, or some people call it mesh. I call it wire racks because it's just like a normal shelf, but this time around not made with wood. Then number 10, the measuring scales. Measuring scales, knives, scissors, scrapers. The measuring scale, I advise bakeries to have more than one measuring scale. You can have a measuring scale of 10 kg, the one that is up to 10 kg. You can have the one of up to 50 kg. The 10 kg you use for measuring your small recipes, like your improver, your preservatives, those things that you'll not be able to measure with the 50 kg scale because it's too big. So you need that small scale to measure small recipes, like when you want to measure your improver, you want to measure your softener, all those little, like even your sugar. For example, if you're doing an half bag flour of sugar, you can't, the 50 kg will be too large. That doesn't mean you can't measure with the 50 kg scale, but I think it's going to be too big to measure just a small quantity of sugar. That's why you need the small scale. Then the big scale is used to measure things like your flour and your water for your recipes. Your flour, like for example, you want to measure a 25 kg flour or a 50 kg flour. Obviously, you can't use the small scale. You're going to make use of the bigger scale to measure that. Then your water, of course, you can't use your small scale to measure water. You're going to need the big scale to measure water. Now for your knives, your scissors, you're also going to need them during cutting. Your scissors, when you want to cut things, are in sachets and sachet, you need the scissors to cut those things. Then another on the list are the carrier baskets. This carrier basket is made of plastics. You need like up to say five or more plastic basket. Then you're also going to need your recipe buckets that you use to put recipes. You know, when you bring out your recipes from your ingredient room, you can't be carrying, you need some dedicated buckets made from plastic or stainless steel that won't be used for any other thing except for bringing out your recipes and handing them over to your staff. That scissors is dedicated strictly for your bakery. It's not used for any other thing. You can't use it to cut any other thing. It's only for the bakery purpose, and it's only used for, you can use it on the bread. It's not used for any other thing. You know, then also you're also going to need aprons, caps, and gloves for sanitary purposes as required by NAFDAC. Then what else? If there's any other thing, I promise I'll still come here to make more videos for you and tell you more about some other essential equipment that you're going to need. I hope you love this video. Do me well by liking and sharing, subscribing to my page if you haven't. Thank you very much, and I hope to see you soon. Bye bye.